Today, I'm getting a phone call. Hello?
Hey, Alec, it's Bruce.
Oh, well, that was nice. A gentleman called to offer to bring a log of wood over. Anyway, today, I'm going to be reviewing my students' work and just giving them some critical feedback on their carvings. So for those of you that don't know, all the projects that are submitted are from students of a subscription school that I created 3 years ago called Fundamentals of Woodcarving. If you're into this kind of thing, realistic faces like this one, this type of school, is for you. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so the first project I wanted to review is a nice carving from a gentleman named David, member of the school. David is a good carver, and he submitted a bit of work for us last time, so we appreciate this. This piece is Native American. Looks like he's got a headdress on him and a really neat necklace. He's done a good job getting the shape of the nose. He's got some good eye detail. He's got a heavier upper lid, which I like. This eyelid here is should be a little bit more protruding than the lower eyelid here. But a couple of things right off the bat that I'm noticing. He's got a good overall outline here. This is not a bad outline. But I would say he needs to work on these lips a little bit. They're thin. So what I would do is I would take a knife and I would splay out this angle just a little bit more, especially in here, and make this lip just a little bit wider. The same here, especially that lower lip. I would widen that out a little bit, especially kind of emphasizing the little dip that happens here, right in the center of the lip, coming up into the oral commissure here and here. Also, you can tell that he didn't set the lips into the oral commissure quite as much as I'd like him to. So what that means is coming in with a gouge, which is a curved chisel, and just creating little dimples here and here, and then tucking these lines into those dimples would make a big difference. So there's that. Another thing that I would like to see him do is decide on the thinness of the eyelid. And what we have here is a little bit of a heavy eyelid. Let me thin this line, wait a bit. So what I'd like to see is this line pared down a little bit tighter against the eyelid, as well as this angle being increased, meaning this needs to be kicked back in here to thin the eyeball, because the eyelid is going to come alongside. You know, I have a hooded eyelid, so it's hard to see, but if my eyelid was exposed, that eyelid is going to follow the line of my eyeball going back into the skull. So we wouldn't want that eyelid, this top eyelid here, to be too flat, in other words. So we want that angle kicked back into the face like so. So I would kick this angle back in here as well. And again, just thinning the eyelid, kind of reining in the lid. Remember, the lid's going to really tightly hug against the surface of the eyeball. So that's important. But otherwise, David, nice work on the nose. The overall structure is looking good on the nose. You could lengthen the nose a little bit, although, gosh, who knows who this guy is. Proportions are a lot of times so variable, it's hard to be critical of someone's proportions because everyone has their own proportions. I mean, look at this nose. This thing is longer than it's supposed to be, right? So, but that's okay. So anyway, moving on. Let's go on to the next photo here. Okay, this is a good one. This looks like a version, could have been a project on the school. We do focus on the human face in the school, and so you're going to see a lot of that in this video, a lot of feedback regarding faces. She's going to work on this a bit more. I think she's turning this into an arrow over here, a spirit of some kind. Really good job with setting everything up. I like the shapes that she's got in the face. The placement of everything is good. She's got maybe just a tiny bit of extra width in between the eyes here. She could probably have narrowed them up just a little bit. There's that whole rule that the eyes are about an eye's width apart. Does that fact check with me? Not quite. Got a little bit less than that on my face, but she could get closer to that. Just a bit closer to that. So I would say maybe move these eyes in just a little bit in this area. But overall, otherwise, proportionally, she's done a great job. She could definitely use to deepen these features. They're really well done. They're really well done. Again, the placement is super important, and she's got that down pat, with the exception of those eyes coming in just a little bit. Mouth placement looks good. Nose placement looks good. All of the structures look good, but you can tell that there's just not quite enough shadowing, especially as the previous carving displayed. These lids need to tuck in, come in deep angle in here, a deep groove rather, on the inside corner of the eye and the outside corner of the eye to make that eyeball appear round. You can see if I close my eyes how the mound of my eye protrudes, right? Lots of depth in here, lots of depth in here. This all gets removed underneath, zygomatic arch. So she needs to come underneath this orbital process here, and here and here. You get a little more depth in the inside and outside corners as well, maximizing the outside depth because there's more depth at the outside corner of the eye than the inside. You can see this is a deeper look at the tip of my glasses here versus here. It's sitting further back in the face here than it is here. So this is a deeper cut out here. All right, moving on to her profile. It'll just kind of show a couple of other things that maybe we didn't get to cover in the front view. Is profile. Profile is sincerely so underrated. It's so underrated. People do not look at the profile of the face, and it literally answers like a myriad of questions. A lot of questions for people when they're carving. When they're just looking at the things from the front view. So if things look great from the side view and the front view, you're in good shape. So the biggest issue with her project right now, as far as the front view goes, or the side view, is it's a little too flat. So if I were to draw a line from the forehead to the chin, let's do that right now. One thing that we're looking for, and that line wasn't even straight, so let's try that again. One thing that we're looking for is the... turns out I'm not the best line drawer. We're looking for the nose to come out just ahead of this line. So here's the third try. Okay, that's fine. We want this nose to actually come out more. So this line coming from the top of the forehead to the top of the chin should bisect the nose just about, right? So that means this nose should come out so that the tip of the ball is here and the ala is here, right? And so what we need to do is, in order to get that, since we can't add material, is dig back here, take that forehead back, all the way back, like so. Take some of the bridge back, and we'll start to get that protrusion of the nose when we get all this stuff gone, right? And then we can take the chin back as well. Her chin's a little proud, right? Think of the lips as kind of a cascading situation here. So we got the top lip sits out, cascading lower lip, and then the chin slightly below that. That's not always the case, but it's a nice little rule of thumb if you're not really sure what you're looking at from the side view. So yeah, so the top lip comes out above the lower lip, which comes out above the chin. Otherwise, nice work there. Yeah, move on. Let's get to the next one here. This is a really nice wood spirit. Also, I should say who these people are. Shout them out. That was, who was it? Denise. Thanks, Denise, for sending that. So this one's, I believe this is from Donald. Nope, this is from Elias. Elias has done a really good job with getting this character to be really whimsical. Especially, I love that he included this fairy door up here. That is so cool. I love the fairy door. I love the rocks. I love the way that they braided the hair here. Really fine detail on the hair. That's nice. Nice work on that, Elias. I would say the only thing that I would, maybe not the only thing, but one of the kind of major things that I would notice here that could be fixed and make this carving so much better so quickly is taking the brow ridge and tilting that angle back. It's a very harsh angle here, and the angle of the brow ridge is actually not quite that hard, right? It's a softer angle, right? See if I can get that. You can look at the silhouette. It's kind of soft down into the eye. It's not as much of a square angle as portrayed here. So I would just take my knife and just take the angle of the knife and come in and just remove a little bit of material here. Soften that brow ridge, make a huge difference. Otherwise, spacing of the eyes looks good. Elias could kick back the forehead just a tiny bit here. Looks like it kind of skates out into an eternity, and as you get higher up into the forehead, typically at the hairline, you'll start to see that this part of the forehead kind of kicks back into the skull, like the turn of the frontalis, I guess, this occipital bone here. Alright, so anyway, great job there. Okay, so moving on here, we've got a nice carving from Ronald. Looks like he did this in the corner of a piece of basswood, which if you're just starting out, I've got a few videos on here about that. Yeah, it is a really nice way of starting because you can kind of get these angles that you don't already, you don't have to worry so much about creating the depth because the angles give you the depth. Anyway, he did a great job here with the face. Structure of it looks good. The main features are all there. Depths actually look pretty good. It's good from the side view as well, looking at it there. He's got, if I was to take a line here, let's come back. Whoa. If I was to take that pencil and draw it from here to here, we probably need to get a little bit more nasal protrusion, meaning bring this forehead back just a little more. But it's hard to say because of this 3/4 view. It looks like you may actually have the right amount of proportion actually, because the line would be here. My bad. Yeah, so he's actually doing pretty good. The overall appearance of the face is good. I don't see any big problems with it. Maybe just a couple of things I would address is the inside corner of the eye needs to be taken in just a little bit more. Again, we've got kind of a flatness here, and we talked about that earlier. That needs to be rounded more in, like so. Of course, my drawings are garbage, but you get the idea, hopefully. You can also carry the nasolabial fold line into the definition of the ala to define the nostril flares. This little line here follows into the nostril flare. He could have worked on defining that a little bit more, but every nose is different, so I'm not going to be hard on him for that. The eyebrows are a little bit stick straight here. I would have gone in and tried to create some variation. Usually eyebrows are going to come off at an angle, like so, right? Not going to be perfectly straight up and down, I guess, unless they're brushed that way, which I think might be a thing amongst girls. I feel like I've seen that at the coffee shop recently. Anyway, great job here, Ronald. Not a lot to be mad at. Yeah, you could have pushed the forehead back just a little bit as well. Looks like your forehead might be a little bit flat. Again, it's permissible though because you don't have a ton of forehead. You have a lot of hair there, so it's hard to see exactly what's going on. So very nice. Another piece from Ronald. He did this cool little goofy smile. I think that's great. I like the character in it. Nothing wrong with that. Again, he could work on a more delicate, I keep forgetting to screenshot it first. He could work on a more delicate upper lid. You could come in and define the lower lid a little bit more cleanly. Here, let's draw this if we're going to do it. Because remember that lid's going to tuck under and around the upper, or the ball itself. That upper lid sticks out further than the lower lid, and it looks like he's got it reversed. It looks like this lower lid is actually poofing out ahead of the upper lid from that profile view, right? So he needs to take this down in here, under here. The nose is looks a little bit flat based on these lines. It looks as though maybe this is all in the same plane. So he needs to take these the ball of the nose down from the side view so that this is a separate little area from the ala. So the ala are pushed back on this plane. You can see that the ball is separated from the ala. So he needs to work on that, but that's a fun project. It's kind of a caricature anyway, so it's not like he's going for realism, but I think that would improve his caricature. All right, that brings us to a close. Thanks to everyone who submitted pictures. And if you'd like to learn more about the school and get all kinds of instructional content, I think right now there's something like 75 or something plus videos there, and I add at least one, usually more than that, videos per month, instructional projects ranging from beginner to advanced. So check that out. And oh yeah, these videos scrolling by are the videos that are available now on the school. So check it out. Thanks guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.